Roll the tape. So there's a couple of videos on the channel of my personal car, Camaro here, and you wonder why I've got this wild acid trip car, why anyone would buy something like this. Here's the quick rundown. So when I was a kid, my dad bought this car. He actually found this car in Minnesota. He made a deal on it and he bought it as a roller. And we took the small block that the Malibu had in it and we put it in this car and he rack raced it for a long time. Eventually, I think I've alluded to it in the channel, he had to make some choices and the car had to go down the road. But this car meant a little bit more to me because I thought I was pretty close to getting a license and that I'd get to drive the car at some point, but he ended up having to sell the car and I never got a chance to drive it. So basically the whole time it was gone, I'd always had some desire to get this car back. And we set out on after the car being gone for 12, 13 years or whatever, the wife and I set out on a search for it, and we spent a long time looking for it, and we kind of gave up. And like a year later, I was sitting in the garage scrolling Facebook or something. I knew the guy's name that might have it. I knew a general area where it should be, and I just kind of kept doing some more searches. And sure enough, one night it popped up, and there it was. Somebody had tagged him in a picture of it. So I was able to just message him direct. I said, hey, this is John. You bought this car for my dad a long time ago. I really want it back. And he said, oh, sorry, it's not for sale right now, but if something ever comes up, I'll let you know. All right, fair enough. So a year later, I got a message at work, and it basically said, hey man, car's for sale. And I didn't even think twice. I said, yep, sold. And 2 weeks later, me and Dad loaded up and we drove out. It was like just north of Reno, Nevada, and we got the car back. So that's the long story on why and how I ended up with this car. Kind of a cool history. We're in Minnesota, obviously. I'm very near St. Paul. This car was actually sold new up north on, from what I'm told, like Two Harbors. There's a Chevy dealer, Duluth, somewhere in there. The car was sold new. A couple brothers bought it and they turned it into a race car with like 1,300 miles on it. So this car's actually been a race car its entire life. They had a friend that owned a body shop and they painted this car like 1971 is what I'm told the car is painted in. And the explanation of the wild colors on it is it was just the extra colors they had laying around in the shop at the end of the week. They say it got painted in 24 hours. It was done overnight. I don't know if that's true or not. It seems kind of wild, but it's a cool story nonetheless. So that's the how and why of the car. I'm just gonna quick walk around and hit a couple of the highlights. So if you watch any of the videos on this car, it's no surprise. It is a stock bottom end 5.3. Completely untouched. We didn't gap the rings. We didn't put rod bolts in it, nothing. So we took the pan off. It's got the Summit knockoff version of the Moroso pan on there. We put an intake on it. We reused the factory 799 heads. We put cam, valve springs, push rods, some ARP head studs and gaskets. And so the entire valve train is BTR. It's got 5/16 hardened push rods. It's got like 685 Ultimates. And it's got a top secret cam that we can't talk about. I'm sorry, but it is equipped with nitrous. We haven't sprayed it yet. It's all there and ready to rip except the feed line, as you can tell, but that was actually put on because we were concerned about the 107 not being able to spool with the stock motor. Turns out it wasn't concerned at all because we got the greatest tuner on the planet, so it wasn't even a thing. The blow-off valves are from Amazon. No idea what brand they are, like Mosho. And then it's got VS Racing gates on it. Oh, it's got the 107 from On 3. The car, this is so long-winded. The car does have a mechanical fuel pump. It's like the 5 gallon per minute, 6 gallon per minute Aeromotive. It does have Brian's handy homemade pulley on it, which you can't see, but I'll toss a clip in here so you can see how that went down. Basically, we ordered it and there was some miscommunication and we didn't get what we thought we got and we had to go. So we welded a couple things together. It's got Wars 102 throttle body with a Holley elbow. It's got factory map sensor. It's out of a Duramax. The transmission is a stock case glide. It's got an FTI converter in it that was actually spec'd for my big block on nitrous. So probably not the right combination to have in here whatsoever, but it seemed to work pretty good. Ideally, I'd like to pick up a PTC converter that's spec'd for this combo or an FTI converter for that matter again. It works really well. It actually worked extremely well on no prep. And I think that's just attributing to that it flashes so hard and it really doesn't put any power to the ground immediately. The car leaves really hard, but it's not quick, if that makes sense. It's only been like a 126 to the 60 foot. It did go 133 on the back tire, but like so they're not staggering numbers for how much power we're leaving on. So I do think we're giving up some with the converter. It's definitely not a street car, and if I ever tell you it's a street car, I'm lying to you. We did, when we got it, it was completely gutted out. It had like a tin dash in it and whatnot. So I did get a VFN fiberglass dash. We put that in just so it had kind of a factory look to it. And then I just bought some OEM door panels and some OEM carpet for it. It's got an aftermarket tunnel in it. Focus. It's got an aftermarket tunnel in it, which I completely hate. Other than that, it's an 850 cage. It's chrome moly, which I think was done in the 90s at some point, but somebody did a pretty decent job on it. Kirky seat, and that's about it for the inside. There's exactly nothing to see in the trunk, other than the fact that you can see the car set up for steamrollers. Coming off the steamroller comment, it does run a 10.5-inch stiff sidewall on a 14-inch wheel. No, they're not beadlocked. No, I haven't died yet. So as far as engine management, it's just got a Holley HP on it. It does have boost control. That's about it. In the back, it's got 9-inch, 35 spline axle. It is a 4-link car. It's a back half car. Front end's completely stock, hasn't been touched. It's got the original A-arms. It's got the original coil springs in it. It's greasy. It's super greasy. It's got some cheesy shocks in it that aren't adjustable, and it's a handful when it comes out of the wheelie. It is full steel, full glass. The windows roll up and down. The hood's fiberglass and the bumpers are fiberglass, to be completely honest. But other than that, it's all original steel with a smidge of Bondo.